Welcome to this tutorial for Pockets of Joy Dedri. This square is part of a series of standalone patterns designed to celebrate the many pockets of joy we experienced at the Crochet Guild of Australia's National Crochet Conference in Sydney. When I told my sister about the conference and all the pockets of joy I'd experienced, she suggested doing a series of patterns around this idea. So I told some of the other designers about this and they immediately jumped on board to create their own little pockets of joy, each in their own style. I'll pop a link to their patterns in the description below so you can find them. For this tutorial, this Pocket of Joy square, I am using Scheepjes Organicon, which is left over from when I did the Meadow crochet along, and I'm using a 3.25mm hook. This square, the finished square, is 17 centimeters, and let's see how much yarn it used. It used about 22 grams of Organicon for one square, so you would be able to get 2 of those out of a ball. So I've done one with different colored leaves. These are Tunisian crochet, well, a mix between crochet and Tunisian crochet, and then one with the same color leaves as the background. I've also made one in Scheepjes Scrumptious, and that's double knit yarn using the same colors as I did for my Daisy's Bouquet square. Daisy's Bouquet, and a 4mm hook. This square measures 20 centimeters. The squares have a final round stitch count of 40 stitches. Will be compatible with any square with a similar or same final round stitch count, provided of course that you use the same hook and yarn when you're making your squares. Not the same as me, the same as yourself. Okay, let's get started. For round 1, we're going to start with a double magic ring. And into that ring we're going to chain 3, which will count as our first double crochet. Then we're going to double crochet and chain 1. We're going to make 3 double crochets in a chain 1 3 times. 1, 2, 3, 'Just going to unwind that. We're going to make 1 more double crochet, and that will be, because when we started we only did 2 in a chain 1, so now we're going to do 1 more double crochet. And then I'm going to close my ring. You can start with a single magic ring, just a normal magic ring if you prefer. Okay, so we're going to join to the top of the beginning chain 3, and I find it easier to locate the top of my first stitch, which is there, and then I'm going to go into the chain before that with the slip stitch. For round 2, we're going to chain 2 and make a 2 DC bobble in the same stitch as the slip stitch join, and to do that we're going to yarn over, insert our hook into that same stitch, yarn over and pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, insert your hook into the same stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, and then pull through all 3 loops on your hook. And that will count as our first 3 DC bobble. And now we are going to chain 2, and then we're going to front post treble around the same stitch, which will be that beginning chain 3. We're going to chain 2 again and make a 3 DC bobble in the next stitch. Just basically a double crochet 3 together in the same stitch. And then pull through all 4. So that will be our little repeat on each of the 4 sides. Now we're going to chain 3. We're going to skip the next chain 1 space and the next double crochet. and then we're going to make a 3 double crochet bobble in the next stitch. So skip the chain 1 space and the next stitch, and then make a 3 DC bobble in the next stitch. Chain 2 and make a front post treble around the same stitch. Chain 2 and make another 3 DC bobble in the next stitch. So that's our second repeat made. Chain 3, skip the next chain 1 space and the first double crochet and make a 3 DC bobble in the next double crochet. Chain 2, front post treble around that same stitch. Chain 2, make a 3 DC bobble in the next stitch. Chain 3, skip the next chain 1 space there and the next double crochet and make a 3 double crochet bobble in the next stitch. Chain 2, front post treble around that same double crochet. Chain 2, make a 3 DC bobble in the next stitch. We're going to chain 3 and we're going to join to the top of the first 3 DC bobble with a slip stitch. So that's round 2 made. For round 3 we're going to slip stitch into the next chain 2 space. We're going to chain 1, that doesn't count as a stitch, and we're going to make 2 single crochets in the same space. We're going to make a front post half double crochet around the next front post treble. Make 2 single crochets in the next chain 2 space. Front post half double crochet around the next bobble. Make 3 single crochets in the next chain 3 space. And front post half double crochet around the next bobble. And that is our repeat. So we're going to do that 3 more times. 2 single crochets in the next chain 2 space. Front post half double crochet around the next front post treble. 2 single crochets in the next chain 2 space. Front post half double crochet around the next bobble. 3 single crochets in the next chain 3 space. My yarn is a bit snaggy because the dog has licked it, so there's a wet patch. Just going to do that again. That front post half double, so 3 single crochets in the next chain 3 space and snag on the same spot. Front post half double crochet around the next bobble. 2 single crochets in the next chain 2 space. Front post half double crochet around the front post treble. 2 single crochets in the next chain 2 space. Front post half double crochet around the next bobble. 3 single crochets in the next chain 3 space. So this will bring us to the last repeat. I'm going to do, and I'm aware that it's now started raining, so we're going to finish this round and then I'll resume the video when it's not so noisy. Oh, and it stopped again. So So 1, 2, 3 single crochets in that last chain 3 space, and then the front post half double crochet around the last 3 DC bobble. I'm going to join to the first single crochet with the slip stitch. For round 4 we're going to chain 1, which doesn't count as a stitch throughout. I'm going to single crochet in the first 3 stitches, and that last single crochet should fall in the top of the front post half double crochet. I'm going to front post half double crochet around that same front post stitch. Skip the first stitch after and single crochet in the next 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9, and that last stitch should fall in the front post half double. Front post half double around that same stitch. Skip the first stitch after the front post stitch and single crochet in the next 9 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Front post half double crochet around that same front post stitch. Skip the next stitch after the front post stitch and single crochet in the next 9 stitches. Front post half double crochet around that last front post half double crochet. Skip the next stitch and single crochet in the next 6 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, because we've already made the first 3 when we started the repeat. We're going to join to the top of the first single crochet with the slip stitch, and that is round 4 made. For round 5 we're going to chain 3, which counts as a double crochet. Then we're going to double crochet in the next 2 stitches. We're going to make 2 double crochet in the next stitch and double crochet in the next 4 stitches 7 times. So 2 double crochet in the next stitch, double crochet in the next 4 stitches, two double crochet in the next stitch, double crochet in the next 4 stitches, two double crochet in the next stitch, and you'll see that every second increase will fall in a front post line. Double crochet in the next 4 stitches, two double crochet in the next stitch, double crochet in the next 4 stitches, two double crochet in the next stitch. So this is again a second increase and it falls in that front post line. Double crochet in the next 4 stitches. I've had to try and film this so many times. It rains or it's blurry. 2 double crochet in the next stitch, double crochet in the next 4 stitches. Anyway, sometimes something just works so effortlessly, and other times you keep doing it and something just keeps going wrong. 2 double crochet in the next stitch. So we're hoping this time works. Double crochet in the next 4 stitches. And there should now be 2 stitches left. So we're going to make 2 double crochet in the next stitch. And double crochet in the last stitch, and we're going to mark this stitch with a stitch marker for later on. We're going to join to the top of the beginning chain 3 with a slip stitch. And you can fasten off here. Well, we're going to fasten off anyway, because we're going to do the flowers. But what I meant to say was actually you can change colors. When we get to the leaves, you can change colors. I'm still undecided whether I'll do the leaves in the same green or in a lighter green. Right. So now that we've done that, we're going to create little flowers, and we're going to do those in the increases that fall over this front post line. So over there, over there, over there, and over there. Before we continue with round 6, we're going to make teeny tiny flowers in 4 of the increases from round 5, like I said before, the ones that fall over this long front post stemmy thing. We're going to work around the increase as if it's a ring. You can use any colors you fancy. You need to start with a slip knot already on your hook. And working into the second stitch of that increase, we're going to make a slip knot around the post of that stitch. A slip stitch, not a slip knot. Chain 2, double crochet around that same stitch. Chain 2, slip stitch around that same stitch. So that's our first petal. Chain 2, double crochet around that same stitch. Chain 2, slip stitch around that same stitch. There's not a lot of space to work into, so it'll be a bit fiddly. Now we're going to turn our work by 180 so that we can work into the other stitch of the increase. So we're going to make a slip stitch around that stitch, chain 2, double crochet around that same stitch, chain 2, slip stitch around that same stitch, chain 2, double crochet around that same stitch, chain 2, slip stitch around that same stitch. I'm going to make our last petal, and to do that we are going to slip stitch into the second stitch of the increase up there, chain 2, make a double crochet in that same stitch, chain 2, and make a slip stitch in that same stitch. So that's our flower made. We're going to fasten off, and I'm going to show you how I work away my ends. And you'll need to do this 3 more times so that you end up with 4 flowers. I'm going to take this end through the top of that stitch to the back, and then I'm going to work both ends away together. I find it easiest to just do it into the stitches of the flower. cute little thing. I'm going to show you how to do that one more time. So we're going to work into the increase at the top of the next stem and working around the second stitch of the increase with a slip knot already on your hook, slip stitch around that stitch, chain 2, double crochet, chain 2, slip stitch around that same stitch, chain 2, double crochet, chain 2, slip stitch around that same stitch. Turn your work so that you can work into the other stitch of the increase and make a slip stitch, and I have to pull this quite tight, otherwise it becomes untidy. Chain 2, double crochet around that same stitch, chain 2, slip stitch around that same stitch, chain 2, double crochet, chain 2, slip stitch around the same stitch, working into the second stitch of the increase at the top there. Make a slip stitch, chain 2, double crochet in that same stitch, chain 2, slip stitch in that same stitch, and cut your work, your yarn, and then work away those ends. So once I've completed all 4 of these, I will meet you back here for round 6. In round 6, we're going to be making 3-dimensional leaves. They're a mix of crochet and Tunisian crochet. They're quite complicated to explain in words, but super simple to show on the video. Well, not super simple, simple. So we're going to join our yarn by making a standing double crochet in this marked stitch. I'm just going to remove my marker, and it'll be the last double crochet of the round, and that's my chain 3. So we're going to make a standing double crochet, and then we're going to skip the next 2 stitches, and we're going to make a 2 DC bobble in the next stitch. So skip the next 2 stitches and make a 2 DC bobble in the next stitch. It's basically a double crochet 2 together in the same stitch. So once we've done that, we're going to make our leaf around the 2 legs of this DC2 together 2 DC bobble. And this is how we're going to make the leaf. It's in the start now. That's how you'll make it every time the pattern tells you to make a leaf. So we're going to chain 2, and then we're going to insert our hook from front to back to front around the post, the first post of that DC2 together, well, 2 DC bobble, and we're going to make a partial DC, which means that we yarn over and pull through once, so that we still have 2 loops on our hook. We're going to make 6 of those. So 2, 3, 4, 5, they'll be a bit tight, 6. So if we were going to make a DC 6 together, we would yarn over and pull through all 6 of those, but we're not going to. We're going to do Tunisia now, so we're going to yarn over and pull through 1, and then we're going to yarn over, pull through 2, 5 times. Pull through 2, that's number 2, 3, 4, and 5 times. Once we've done that, we want our working yarn to be behind our hook, so we're going to swing it from left to right in front of our work, from right to left if you're left-handed, and we're just going to swing it under the handle so that's the back of our work. And you'll see it makes a little loop around the bottoms of those 2 stitches, and we're just going to pull that tight so it doesn't become untidy. Now we're going to push this part of the leaf down, and we're going to work into the second leg, and we're going to make 6 partial double crochets again. So we're going to yarn over and pull through 1, and then yarn over, pull through 2 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have 3 loops on our hook. It's a bit tricky to see because these 2 are twisted. I'm going to yarn over and pull through all 3, we're going to chain 2. Once we've made this chain 2, we're going to turn our work so that the back is facing us, and we're going to make a slip stitch into the first chain 2 of the leaf. It'll be tricky to see, but if you see that little line, that's where we pulled our yarn around, and it'll be between that first stitch and that little loop. So just in there we're going to make a slip stitch, and that's our leaf completed. So we're going to turn around again and chain 4. Then we're going to make a front post double crochet around the 2 DC that contain the flower, and you can't really see them because they've got flower in them, but we'll yarn over, insert our hook from front to back, and then from back to front. So it looks like that, and then we're going to make a double crochet. Right. We're going to chain 4 again. We're going to skip the first stitch, which will be hidden anyway, and we're going to make a 2 DC bobble in the next stitch. And if you want to check that you've got the placement right, there should be 2 DC left before the increase. 1, 2, and then there's the increase. So we're going to make another leaf, and again we're starting with a chain 2, and then we're making 6 partial trebles, 6 partial doubles around the first leg of the 2 DC bobble. 2, 3, 4, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to yarn over and pull through 1 loop, then yarn over and pull through 2 loops 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2 loops on your hook. Swing your yarn in front of your work and behind your hook. Fold this flat and make 6 partial double crochets in the second leg of the 2 DC bobble. Hi buds. Yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 2 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we're going to yarn over and pull through all 3 stitches, chain 2, turn our work so that we can see the back, and make a slip stitch in that first chain 2 space. You have to dig around a bit, and turn our leaf back. But buds, we're going to skip the next 2 stitches and make a double crochet in the next stitch, which should be the first DC of the increase. So skip the next 2 and then double crochet in the next stitch. Then we're going to chain 2, skip the next stitch, double crochet in the next stitch. Okay, we're going to skip the next 2 stitches, make a 2 DC bobble in the next stitch. I'm going to make another leaf, chain 2, 6 partial DCs around the sleeve. Yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 2 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Swing our yarn in front of our work onto the back, fold this leaf down, and we're going to make 6 more partial double crochets in the second leg of the 2DC bobble. Okay, yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 2 5 times, 1, 2, 3, no, 4, 5 times, yarn over and pull through all 3, chain 2, and make a slip stitch in that first chain 2 of the leaf. Turn our work back, chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, make a double crochet, front post double crochet around the 2 DC that contain the flower. One, 2, 3, 4. Oh, make it. What are we going to do now? Skip the first hidden stitch and then make a 2, that one, and then make a 2 DC bobble in the next stitch. And we're going to make another leaf. Chain 2, 6 partial doubles in the first leg of the 2 DC bobble. Yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 2 5 times. Swing your yarn around your work and to the back. I'm going to make 6 partial doubles in the second leg of the 2 DC bobble. Yarn over and pull through 1, yarn over and pull through 2 5 times. Yarn over and pull through all 3. Chain 2, turn your work, make a slip stitch in that first chain 2 of the leaf. Turn your work back. We're going to skip the next 2 stitches. 1, 2, and make a DC in the next stitch, which should be the first stitch of the increase from the previous round. Chain 2, skip the next stitch and make a DC in the next stitch. So this is the repeat. The repeat starts after this double crochet with a skip the next 2 and make a 2 DC bobble in the next stitch, and you're going to repeat that all the way until you get back here again. We're going to do that all the way around. Now it looks a bit modelly now, but once you flatten them all, look at those, so pretty. Okay, I'll see you back at the end of the round. Right, so I've made all my leaf pairs, finished my last repeat with a double crochet and a chain 2, and I'm just about to join to the first double crochet with a slip stitch. But before I do that, I suggest just marking the skipped stitch between this last DC you made and the first DC of the round, the stitch marker, because that's where we will start our next round. For round 7, we're going to start with a slip knot already on our hook, and we are going to start in that mark stitch from round 5, working in front of this chain 2 space from round 6. I'm just going to remove my marker. So the repeat starts immediately with 5 trebles into that marked stitch, the skipped marked stitch, working in front of the chain 2 space. number 2, number 3, number 4, and 5. Now we're going to chain 1, and these chain 1s are sneaky, so remember to do them. Chain 1, and then we're going to work into these 2 chain 4 spaces behind the leaves. So we're going to make 6 single crochet in the first chain 4 space, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you'll have to squeeze them up a bit to get them to fit in, and 6 single crochets in the next chain 4 space, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Going to chain 1 again, and then we are going to work in between the leaf and the DC after the leaf, and we're going to make a half double crochet in the space between those 2. So that's the first repeat done. I'm going to show you the second repeat, which is the same, but I'm just going to show it to you again, and then I'll skip to the end. So into this skipped stitch from round 5, and working in front of this chain 2 space, we are going to make 5 trebles. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Chain 1, don't forget that chain 1. Working into the chain 4 space behind the first leaf, we're going to make 6 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Working into the second chain 4 space, 6 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Chain 1, working between the leaf and the next double crochet, the one after the leaf, we're going to make a half double crochet in that space, and that's the second repeat done. I'm going to do that 2 more times, and I'll meet you back at the end. Now I've done all the repeats for round 7. I'm going to join to the top of the first treble with a slip stitch, and then we're going to start round 8. For round 8, we're going to chain 1, that doesn't count as a stitch. Then we're going to single crochet in the next 5 trebles. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Single crochet in the next chain 1 space. Single crochet in the next 12 single crochets. So that first one will be a little bit hidden by that chain, the stitch we just made into the chain 1 space. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, working into the stitches made into the first chain 4 space. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. That'll bring us to the next chain 1 space. Into that chain 1 space, we're going to make a single crochet, and then we're going to single crochet in the next half double crochet, and that will be a bit tricky to get into because the first half double crochet after the chain 1 space is always tricky to get into. So there's the half double, and we're just going to make a stitch. Oh, it's tricky to get into. And there. That's the first repeat. I'm going to show you how to do that 1 more time. Repeat starts here with single crochet in the next 5 trebles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Single crochet in the next chain 1 space. single crochet in the next 12 stitches, the first of which is slightly hidden. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 and 12. Single crochet in the next chain 1 space, single crochet in the next half double there, which will be tricky to get into. I'm going to do that 2 more times and then I'll meet you at the end. I've repeated that 4 times in total. This brings me back to the start of the round, and I'm going to join to the top of the first single crochet with a slip stitch, and that will be the first single crochet made into that first treble. For round 9 we're going to start with a chain 3, and that will count as our first double crochet. Double crochet in the next 3 stitches. 1, 2 and 3, and on this first repeat we are going to mark that second of the 3 double crochets with a stitch marker, because we will start in that stitch for the next round. 2 double crochet in the next stitch, which should be the last single crochet before the single made into the chain 1 space, and it is. So this is a single in the chain 1 space, and that is the last single before that one, so in the last treble. We're going to make 2 double crochet. Now the repeat starts, and the repeat is double crochet in the next 4 stitches, make 2 double crochet in the next stitch, and we will do that 15 times. So double crochet in the next 4 stitches, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2 double crochet in the next stitch. So that's the first one of 15 done. I'm going to show you again. Double crochet in the next 4 stitches. That's 4. Make 2 double crochet in the next stitch. And that is the second one of 15 done. So I'm going to continue all the way around until I've done all 15. That's my 14th repeat done. So I'm going to do 15, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 2 double crochets in the last stitch. You will join to the top of the beginning chain 3 with a slip stitch, which is there. Alternatively, you can use the invisible join, which is what I'm going to do, and then we're going to fasten off and work away our ends, because we'll be changing colors for the next round. We are on round 10 now. Starting with a standing stitch in the marked stitch from the previous round, we're going to make a back post treble around that marked stitch. We're going to make another back post treble around that same marked stitch. It's a bit tricky to do 2 back posts in the same stitch. I find it helps to turn my work towards me. Chain 2 and make 2 back post treble in the next stitch. Fiddly. And that is our first corner made. I'm just going to remove this stitch marker. So that's our first corner made, and you'll notice that these second 2 back post trebles fall in a double crochet directly above the 3rd treble of this 5 treble group. So 1, 2, 3, it's directly above there. You can check in each of the corners that it falls there. From here we're going to start the repeat, and it is going to be back post treble in the next stitch, back post extended double crochet in the next 2 stitches, so you're yarning over once, inserting around the post, yarn over, pull up a loop, then you'll yarn over and pull through 1, so a little chain, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. This is slightly shorter than a treble, so it just makes it a bit neater. I'm going to do 1 more of those. So yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Back post double in the next stitch. Back post half double in the next 4 stitches. Back post single in the next 6 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Back post half double in the next 4 stitches. Back post double in the next stitch. Back post extended double in the next 2 stitches. Apologies. Oh, sorry. Back post extended double in the next 2 stitches. Back post treble in the next stitch. Before I do my corner, I'm just going to double check. So this will be the first 2 back post treble of the corner, that will be the next 2 back post treble of the corner, and that should fall in the DC directly above that 3rd treble of those 5 trebles. So that's correct. So make 2 back post trebles around the next stitch. Oops. Chain 2. These are easy to do if you're not filming them and sitting at an odd angle away from your work. Right, so that is your next corner, and that is also the end of the repeat. In the timeline, I'll put a link to where you need to skip back to if you want to see that repeat again. And then when you've done this 4 times, I'll meet you back at the end. So you're going to repeat this entire repeat 3 more times, but when you get to the very end, you're going to skip that last corner because you've already made that before we started the repeats. I've completed all the repeats, omitting that last corner because we've already made that before we started the repeats. I'm going to join to the top of the first treble with a slip stitch, and then we are on to round 11. For round 11, we're going to slip stitch in the next stitch and into the next chain 2 corner space, chain 4. That will count as a first treble. Make 2 more trebles in that same chain 2 space. So that's 3 trebles on that side, chain 2, and then 3 more trebles into that corner space. it'll be a bit of a squeeze. Got a little ball of yarn, go over there. So that is our first corner made. 3 treble, chain 2 and 3 treble. We're going to skip the first hidden stitch, which is well and truly hidden, and make an extended double crochet in the next 2 stitches. Double crochet in the next 2 stitches. Half double crochet in the next 2 stitches. Single crochet in the next 13 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 and 13. Half double crochet in the next 2 stitches. Double crochet in the next 2 stitches. Extended double crochet in the next 2 stitches. Into the corner space, 3 treble. Chain 2, 3 more treble, and that's our second corner made. We're going to repeat this all the way from the skip the first stitch, extend a double crochet in the next stitch. From there we're going to repeat to the corner, and we're going to do that 3 more times, omitting that last corner on the last repeat because we've already made that before we started the repeat. So I've come to the end of the round. Remember that you will omit that last corner because you've already made it before you started the repeats. To end the round, you're going to slip stitch to the top of the beginning chain 4 with a slip stitch. Moving on to round 12, we're going to slip stitch in the next 2 stitches. And in the chain 2 corner space. Chain 3, this will count as a double crochet. Make a double crochet in that same chain 2 corner space. Chain 2, 2 double crochets in that same chain 2 corner space. This is where the repeat will start, and we are going to do that 4 times in total. So skip the first hidden stitch, which is not that hidden, but pretend it's hidden, and double crochet in the next 30 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, the dog's licked my yarn again. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. 21, oh, wet spot, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, and 30. This will bring us to the next chain 2 corner space, and into that space we're going to do 2 double crochet, chain 2, and 2 double crochet, and that ends the repeat. You're going to need to do that 3 more times, omitting the last corner on the last repeat, because you'll have already done that before we started the repeats. I'm at the end of the round and I'm ready to join, so you can either join to the top of the beginning chain 3 with a slip stitch, or you can join with the invisible join, because we are fastening off at the end of this round and changing colors. To start round 13, we're going to join our yarn by making a standing double crochet in any corner around. Into that same space we're going to make double crochet, chain 2, and 2 double crochet. That is your first corner made. So this is where the repeat starts. We're going to back post double crochet in the next 34 stitches. It's going to take me a while. Sorry for the background noises. I'm washing clothes for rugby tonight. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. If you're ever concerned that you've skipped the back post, it's easy enough to see. You just turn your work and make sure that each of your stitches has a little dotted line, so I've not skipped one. So that's 8. Let's double check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. It's a pity you can't smell things as well as hear things, because I've got some delicious veggies in balsamic roasting in the oven and they smell great. 26, 27, 28, 29, and 30. 1, oh, 2, 3, and 4. So 34 back post double crochets. That brings us to the next corner. Into that corner we're going to do 2 double crochets, chain 2, and 2 double crochets. Oh, washing machine sounds like it's dying, but it's not. So that is the end of the repeat. And we're going to do that 3 more times, starting from here where you do back post double crochet in the next 34 stitches into the corner space, 2 DC, chain 2, 2 DC, and we're going to do that 3 more times, omitting this last corner on the last repeat. I'm at the end of the round, and to finish round 13 we are going to join to the first DC with a slip stitch. For round 14 we're going to slip stitch in the next stitch and into the chain 2 corner space. Chain 4, and this will count as our first half double crochet and chain 2 space, half double crochet in that same chain 2 corner space. So that's our first corner made. It's essentially half double crochet, chain 2 and half double crochet. So this is where the repeat starts. Half double crochet in the next 38 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 13, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. This will bring us to the next chain 2 corner space. Into that chain 2 corner space we are going to make our half double crochet, chain 2 and a half double crochet. Oh, if we can manage, if I can manage. And this brings us to the end of the repeat, and we're going to need to do that 3 more times, omitting the last corner on the last repeat because we already made that when we started the round. I'm at the end of round 14. I've made those last 38 half double crochets back at the starting corner, and to finish I'm going to join to the second chain of the beginning chain 4 with a slip stitch. So I'm just going to count back from this first stitch, so chain 4, 3, and that's the second chain. Right, so then I will fasten off and work away my ends, and that is my little Pockets of Joy square all done. Well, it's not blocked. I need to block it first and it'll be perfect. I'll show you a photo of that. Thank you very much for joining me for this video tutorial. I hope you enjoy the pattern. Bye.